everyone, and welcome to Almost Cancelled. I am Peter, and that is Matt. Matt's not usually here.
You sound confused as if you didn't know I was going to be here.
It's a sudden shock and surprise, I'm not going to lie, Matt. It's a sudden shock.
Okay, yeah.
But we are going to talk about Glow, Season 2, Episode 1. It's called Viking Funeral. That's why Matt's here, because Connor doesn't watch Glow. Matt watches Glow.
No.
There's,
Also, Pete promised me there'd be Vikings.
I did, yeah. The Viking in the title, and there was a Viking in the episode, kind of.
Yeah?
An emulated Viking, I guess one might say. So yeah, this launched last Friday. We couldn't get to it right away when it launched. Matt was away, or not away, but he was at a convention at the weekend. So we're here now. We'll be doing a couple of episodes a week, and we'll get through the season. We really enjoyed season 1, so I've been looking forward to season 2. So we're going to kick right off. Obviously, we ended season 1 with them making their pilot episode, and it was successful enough that the network greenlit them to make a series. Yep. And this episode seems to be after a little bit of a break, where we come back and they're actually building their own set in their gym with their own neon sign, and building their own ring with the pink ropes and all the rest of it. And it's kind of about dealing with the girls coming back. Who's still here? Is anyone missing? Mark, or sorry, not Mark, Sam. That's his actor's name.
Yeah.
Sam's under the stress. By the way, I'll just say this, right? It's been a year since season 1, and there's like 25 characters in this show. If I struggle with the names for a little bit, bear with me.
Yeah. If I call him Mark Maron because he's basically playing himself, my mistake.
All right, just bear with me. But so that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing in this episode. And I think what first thing I want to put out is they didn't have this flashy intro sequence last year, did they? This title sequence.
It wasn't as flashy, but I do remember it because in one of the because it's all done in like it's neon, right, with outlines. One of them is from a Bailey match, because that is a hugplex.
All right, okay. I didn't remember it. If it was there, I don't remember it doing the whole thing every time though. I think a lot of the time it just cut to the title, doing the just the neon in the title, and that was it.
Yeah, I think it happened in the first and the last. Cause they made,
that makes sense.
Out of those. But there's definitely some new stuff in there this time around.
There was a lot of new moves. The move that Debbie did at the end, off the top rope, that was there at the end of the intro. Because I laughed at that because about a minute into the episode after that opening title scene, there's a joke, or not a joke, but she says to Sam, Ruth says to Sam, "Oh, we had a flashy opening title sequence," and I almost took that as a meta joke that they just added one in for season 2, but I just couldn't remember if we had it before. But that's fair enough. Yeah, so there's the little joke before the thing starts. There's a little just cold open joke with the photograph and Sheila getting up on the roof, and there'd been no filling left in there. Amusing. It was a fun little gag, and we roll right in. So Sam's been a big dick in this episode, right? And he's under stress. He's at home. Justine's not actually in the show anymore. She's just living with him because that's his daughter, as they found out very awkwardly last season, and he's under pressure from the network because the executive is basically tried to replace him between the pilot and the shooting. And producers try to say, all right, it's fine. He kept trying to call me, but I dealt with it. It's your show, Sam. It's your show. But he's feeling pressure from that. He's feeling pressure from all things, and he takes it out on the girls hugely in this episode. I mean, he's his traditional not caring self. He kind of fobs them off. So, okay, we're building the set. I wanted 10 seconds of you on camera to make sure your costumes look good, but otherwise, we're building set today. And Ruth's like, no, you didn't answer any questions in the meeting. Can you set some time aside? He's like, no. You want to be my backup. You want to be, Hitchcock's wife. You go and make them feel special so I don't have to. Right? Yep. And at this point, I still think we're in kind of like traditional Sam mode. This is what I expect from Sam.
Which, although he grew so much last season, that to start him back down this low, almost lower than he was, because he has previous, like him and Ruth have a moment, from the first season, so to see him regress this bad,
Yeah, it's a little upsetting almost, and it's when they come back later where he snaps at them all, and he's like, oh, who's confused about who's directing this, and it's actually, it's the Viking, again,
Vicky.
There you go, thank you, Vicky the Viking, that makes a lot of sense. She is like, hey, you didn't actually direct the pilot, Ruth did. Like, you bailed, and she took care of it. Earlier in the episode, she even said to Ruth, "Hey, it's much more fun when you're directing." Maybe a hint at the fact that Ruth thinks she should be an actress, but maybe she actually is better in a creative, like behind the camera role. Maybe she's better doing that.
Because a lot of the stuff that's happened that made them a success was because of Ruth. Even the stuff with Betty, like her and Betty's feud that became a real feud in the ring, it built off of that. So she is almost as much of a creative force as Sam, but Sam gets to wear, his director hat and be self-important.
Yeah, very self-important. And no one lies to him. No one says anything to him that's not true. And he just flips over it. So clearly we've got another journey with him this year of him sort of maybe realising who he is. And it's funny because as someone who's actually directed some stuff, keeping in mind that you actually had to deal with the morale of the people around you was actually one of the parts that's tougher. Now, admittedly, I made it easier on myself by not being this much of a dick in the first place.
Well, especially when you were still new to it, like I'm sure you were in school.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Versus, Sam's super jaded and feels stifled with, Hollywood and whatnot.
You get the impression he never really learned to do that part of the job, though. And that's why Ruth seems much better, because she actually seems to care about all the people that's working for her. Or, well, they're not really working for her, but if she actually was in charge, they would be.
From listening to a lot of film podcasts and watching, like, making of, I always feel that there's two schools of directing. There's the directors that are more like Clint Eastwood, who are they know what it's like to be an actor. So they come in, they're really focused on the actors, they work with them. And then there's the more technical directors, which play around with the cameras a lot and almost forget that you have to work with people. And I feel like Sam is more in that technical. He's forgot that there's still people you have to manage. It's not just about the script and the shot list and all that.
Yeah, but I think all those factors that I mentioned about him feeling more stressed, new daughter in his life he didn't know about, pressure from the studio who clearly don't even want him to be around. All these things are clearly contributing to him being more of a dick than usual.
Yeah, I mean, they did try to replace him with a guy that shoots quilting, like, public access shows. So, I mean, I kind of get it, but still, you would think, like, at this point in their relationship with all of these women, he would not, he'd tone it down a bit.
You would hope so. He's taken out in them, and that's something that I'd hope he realizes as we go through the season, as we get the story. So Ruth, been told to just go away and leave him alone, decides that to up the morale, she's going to take them all out because they're also feeling a bit down because there's a new junk chain. Yolanda is now here. Now I'm expecting the original junk chain back, of course. I'm expecting Cherry to be back, but
because she did pick up an acting job at the end of the last season.
Yeah.
And I don't remember since I didn't do a rewatch. I just watched the recap that aired right before this when I started season 2. But I don't know if any of the other girls knew that was going to be the plan. I don't remember, but
I mean, I don't think they knew in the finale. Maybe she told someone, but I mean, they'll certainly know why she's gone. I don't think it'll be like a mysterious secret that she's. Oh, why is she not here?
Oh no.
Yeah.
But they kind of treat it like that. They go, oh, where's that? That's Cherry's character.
Yeah.
And Sam gives him the stiff arm. Basically, he's like, don't worry about it. She's junk chain now.
Yeah. She comes in, and everyone's like, we don't want this fake Razor Ramon. Well,
Yeah, exactly.
What is this?
But Yolanda seems to be like she's trying to fit in. She's coming in. She's not trying to step on toes. And I hope she ends up being a fun character because I like her a lot from this first episode.
Especially if she sticks around and if Cherry comes back and it's like, okay, well, someone's taken that character. So what does the other one come up with? What do they do? And
exactly.
Also the small gag where like Jenny was supposed to wash the outfits but didn't, and it's been like 2 months, and they all come back and like, oh, this smells disgusting. It's like, was I supposed to wash these?
Yeah. Well, and Debbie had went and done hers. She took hers to the dry cleaner, and she's already treating it like she's the absolute star.
Well, of course, they all get contracts, and everyone's just kind of reading through them, and it's like, oh, this sounds really shit, but we have to sign it because we don't have any other choice. But she's like, no, I'm experienced. I'm a star. So she actually gets her husband, Mark, who's not her husband. I mean, they're getting a divorce. That's a big
Yeah,
dramatic point of the episode.
they're estranged.
Yeah, because there's a big moment in this episode where she's driving Ruth home, and it's actually a really kind of nice moment because she kind of interjects almost to save her in a way, because the camera guy, I mean, it's hard to get a sort of a hold on him right now, right? Because it's like, we know he used to shoot porn, and he's kind of casual about it, but we've also not seen anything that's particularly creepy either, right? He seems like he could go either way.
No, but in that traditional '80s, fashion,
Yeah.
he does look like a scumbag because
Oh, sure,
I've been
yeah.
conditioned from TV shows from the '80s that this is what those guys look like. You know,
But because he, Ruth brings him along to shoot this opening intro sequence, and at the end, he seems to like her. And he's like, "Oh, you could cut him out at my place, and we could look at the rushes. We could do a first edit. We could then have a drink." And Ruth doesn't seem disgusted by it, but Debbie's kind of like overhearing this and kind of interjects and offers her a lift home, almost as if just here's an out, take it.
exactly.
And it's just showing that she still cares about Ruth, even if they're in such a really rough place, if things are still awkward. Because of course we ended last season with the, "Hey, do you want to get a drink?" No, we're not there.
Yeah.
But I think I remember pointing out at the time, "We're not there" really sounds like yet, even though she doesn't say
that's
yet.
exactly.
It sounds like yet. So her actually telling Ruth, it is a really awkward moment, because on the one hand, it's kind of touching that she wants to tell her about it, because okay, that's kind of almost a sign of friendship again. But Ruth also did kind of like put the whole thing in motion. she was instrumental in starting the process towards divorce.
Yeah.
So now, of course, the argument there is that if it wasn't going to be her, it'd be someone else. The point is that it revealed Mark for the person he is.
Yeah, but it's an even deeper cut because this is her best friend.
Yeah,
yeah. So yeah, I mean, and there's trust, and there's that great part, like the overarching story of trust in wrestling. There's two guys in the ring looking like they're beating the mess.
Or ladies. Let's be specific here, Matt.
But I was using the steel horse because this is how he explained it to. But you have to trust that guy, even if you don't like him. You got to look at the person across and trust them, and that's what the business is all about.
Yeah, because you're dropping each other in your head. You have to be working together. You have to know that the other. Because sometimes your protection in a wrestling move relies on the other person protecting you.
Exactly.
So trust.
And that's where these two are working up to right now. Is they can be in the ring together because they had the match at the end of the first season. So
by the way, I loved. So they have the meeting at the start before Sam tells them to piss off, and he gives them contracts. Actually, I loved the get your contracts for everyone. I crap me up, but I like the almost commentary on actual wrestling writing, where he's like, okay, there'll be some promos where you talk shit about each other. There'll be a wrestling match, a wrestling match, a title match, and then a closer where Debbie will vow to get the crown back. He's like, what, every week? And I'm like, that's a good point. It's a good point.
As the resident wrestling fan, Pete waffles back and forth because he has better things to do.
Yes, I waffle back and forth because they don't make it worth sticking around.
Well, and that's it. And as a WWE fan, I'm very disillusioned right now because they're stuck in the same pattern. So when I heard that, it's like, okay, we're gonna talk crap, and then we're gonna have 3 or 4 matches, and then we're gonna put it on the person, and it is an awful lot like Roman Reigns or Brock Lesnar. It's the same story. Then again, this is the '80s. WWE's in 2018, so what's your excuse?
Yeah. That did really crack me out. I was like, okay, can we not advance the story? Can we not, move into new things? Can we not do other things? That just really cracked me up. It was a really good little meta line of hey, yeah, wrestling can kind of be broken at times. Now, we're kind of talking about the WWE more than anything else here. We're not necessarily shitting on... Because at New Japan, from everything I've seen, handle things very well.
Their story... Well, even within WWE, NXT is still... Some of my favorite. They just had a UK tournament that the storytelling, it was much more sport driven with the tournament, but drama came from there. So they're capable of it. It's just what the mainstream isn't very. I'm very disillusioned with it, as I said. So,
but
yeah,
to bring us back round to the episode, the one thing we've not really talked about yet, despite the fact we've danced around it, is the actual shooting of the opening sequence in the mall. because because Debbie wants to go to the mall. So they okay, we'll shoot at the mall. It's fine. So we get them shooting all these little things where they're coming down the escalators and they're making faces at the camera one by one as they're going past, but in character, so they're all doing their own little thing. My favourite thing about this, though, was the security guard, who, and again, is someone who shot things, especially in places where you're not supposed to be there. This really cracked me up. He's like, "Oh, if you want to see your permits, no, I'm an actor. If you get it for me, I could go for something."
So for a second, I forgot this was set in L.A. So when he came over, I was like, "Oh no!" You get panicked for him, going, "Oh, where are their permits? They don't have them. Is she gonna run?" He's like, "Oh no, I'm an actor," and hands her a headshot.
Yeah.
Like
my favorite thing about all this, and again, is someone who's made stuff, particularly in a student capacity. The image that cracked me up is when the big final shot of the trailer is like they've got two groups, they've got the girls split in two, and they're running towards each other, right, like a battle. And the security guard who's now in the thing is like in the middle, sort of going like that with his hands out, and he's like, no, ladies, and Ruth or whoever yells freeze. And we just get this shot of the cameraman running around, lifting the tripod to the other side for the shot of them running towards. God. Running around with a tripod like that brought back so many memories. You know what? Yeah. Whenever they show the making of movies and stuff and documentaries or TV, it's always this glamorous, like nitty gritty technical thing. They always leave out the running around like an idiot like this, just like, oh, I need to go get my shot.
Yeah. So I got yelled at in film school for doing that with a 16mm camera.
Oh, you're not supposed 16? To do it. Yeah, let's make this clear. You're not supposed to run with a camera on the tripod, ever. That's a no-no.
And my film professor goes, whoa. And you would have thought that I just got caught stabbing a drifter, like, with the way that he yelled. So, but yeah, so that was pretty hilarious seeing him do that. Like, and it's all one shot, too. So the girls are frozen, trying to stay in the same shot so they can get the reverse. And, yeah, pretty great stuff.
It's just a really entertaining sequence. This is like we have the sort of the more serious drama side from Sam becoming more of a dick and being stressed about the stuff, and we have the producer or the Debbie contract dispute, which leads to her having a better contract where she's actually a producer at the end, and it's almost like she shuts Ruth out because Sam says to Ruth, "Hey, everyone's replaceable here, including you, Ruth." And Ruth leaves the office, and she's like, "No, I'm a producer." And Debbie shuts the door on her, and it's like, no. If you feel kind of bad for Ruth because she's been so instrumental in making this whole thing work, and now Debbie, despite the fact that she's kind of the star and she's kind of also important, she's kind of taking a higher position and shut her out. Yeah. And I guess it's just show business, but it's
it is, and she's climbing to the top. And in the wrestling world, they call that politicking, right? Where you go and you'll throw someone under the bus if you have to, if it means a better spot for you.
Yeah, so it's a lot of hearts because Ruth is our main character. Ruth is the one that we connect with the most, and it's like, okay, so clearly we're playing with some other ideas here now that we're actually a show that's going to be running ongoing throughout this season, and we can see how they play with that. So you've got all this drama from all that stuff, but then you've got all this light entertainment stuff from the wacky running around the mall and doing the various things. I think Jenny in the chair spinning around and then her costume appearing on her, as if it's a superhero thing, cracked me up. That was a fun little moment. But we do end the episode with the uplifting of, oh, here's the set finished. We get to see it with all the neon and stuff.
Yeah, and it looks great. And the other thing, though, is the girls do have good morale. Like, they do feel like they're a family still, like at the end of the last season. Yeah. So I'm wondering how this because Vicky gets fired.
Of course,
for bringing up that Ruth directed the pilot and directed this sequence, for the opening.
And this is the moment where Sam is officially just taking his frustration out on them. He's just like, no, you know what? No back talk to me, get out.
And he fires her and then tells Ruth, well, if you want to help, if you're so keen to help, go pick up those chairs, because Vicky picks up a bunch of the folding chairs and throws them around the studio.
Well, Sam is literally killing the morale himself. He's the one-man wrecking crew.
Exactly.
And obviously, it's worth mentioning, there's a couple of little nice moments in here, a couple of little feminist moments where, they're at the Debbie takes our soon-to-be ex-husband to the dinner with the producer, with the exec. And his wife is there, and she's like, "Oh, you can have a copy." And he's like, "Oh no, my wife doesn't need a copy." It's like, "What? She's not only sit here looking pretty while we talk business. She can look at it and have opinions."
Yeah.
There's little moments like that that works. And I think I did read before the season started that they're going to be having what they referred to as some Me Too moments. And I think.
Yeah.
Even if the cameraman stuff itself doesn't become that, I think that's kind of like setting up some of the themes, some of the thematics of us playing with some of those ideas.
Definitely.
And it makes sense. Even stuff in this where, like, Sam's just casually saying to the camera guy, "Have you ever worked with this many women?" All frustrated. Like, oh god, there's finally some men here.
Right.
And
Well,
it's
because
like,
even when all the girls are enjoying the cut of the opening sequence, they're all laughing, and even the corporate guy or the guy from the network
yeah,
is, he looks over at the construction guys, and the construction guys that are building the set are watching it, and I mean, they're kind of blank. You don't get a real reaction from them, but it was enough of Sam looking over there at him, going like, treating like the women's opinion doesn't matter. That's what I took from that scene.
yeah,
It was-
yeah. What do they think? Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was maybe even more specifically that he was looking upstage in front of even them, like in front of everyone.
yeah,
Yeah, it's
that's
one
true.
thing before when like Ruth was just upstaging in front of the other ladies, but now that there's other men around, it is like this is a really it makes Sam feel kind of really sexist actually when you really stop and think
does.
about he cares more now that he's being upstaged in front of other men, and that bothers him. So I think that's something we may explore as well as we go through the episodes. But that's the premiere. We seem to have liked it, as we never really said that
Yeah.
in a sentence as such. But yeah, it's very good. It's very good.
Yeah,
I'm glad the
thoroughly
show's back.
enjoyable.
Yeah.
Nice kickoff to the season. Excited to see where it goes. This is what season 2s always are a little bit more enjoyable for me because you don't have to do the origin thing of how they all came together, and you can just jump right back in.
Yeah, if season 2 is if a season 2 is executed properly, typically what you can do with it is you can take what's established in season 1 and you can turn some things on its head. You can play with the rules that you've established. Even in a show like this, because I'm thinking specifically like something like Westworld. Well, I won't say what it is, but there's a big twist in season 1 of Westworld that reveals something about the whole season. Season 2, because we know that twist, it uses what was in that twist as a mechanic to sort of change how the story is told in season 2. And that's a really specific thing, but I think even in a typical, a more straightforward told drama comedy like this is, that's still kind of true. We take the Debbie and Ruth relationship and we turn it on its head. We do different things with it. We take the way Sam's grown with the girls and turn that on its head. We do all these different things. And the fact that because the girls didn't necessarily all like each other way back at the start of the show. That's
No.
something that grew over the season. So now we're playing with that. We're playing with them having camaraderie, with the Viking being fired, and like I'm sure she'll be back, but
Yeah.
that'll likely be Sam kind of admitting that he's done wrong and
Yeah,
going
because
to
that's
deal
what
with
Sam does. Sam freaks out, and as someone that kind of does this when he gets angry, you
Not
freak
exactly
out.
this, but yeah.
What's that?
Not exactly this.
Well, no, not like that. But you freak out and you yell, and then you come back being like, "Hey, sorry, I was a jerk."
Yep.
Come back.
I've witnessed this firsthand, folks. I've been yelled at and then apologised to. I can confirm this is a thing. Probably not as much as his wife, admittedly, but
No. I've gotten better though. So
I'm pretty sure Ashley just sort of sees that as like just a sport at this point.
yeah. She knows how far can I let him get it before, and what's going to be the gift? Is it just going to be sorry, or is it going to be flowers and candy, or whatever? So
Yeah. Sometimes Matt racks up some debt with his apology gifts.
big time. Hey, where do you think this house came from? That's a joke. Maybe.
Dear. Anyway, that is episode 1 of Glow season 2. Very good. We'll be back sometime later this week with episode 2, and we'll go from there, and we'll keep them coming as far as we can. But a couple of weeks, I think, is what we're expecting. So that is Glow season 2, episode 1. Let us know what you thought of the episode in the comments below. Like and subscribe and all that stuff. It helps us out a lot. You can also help us out even more than that by going to patreon.com/MailFuzzTV. There's a bunch of bonuses over there. Even if you don't want to support us over there, which we'd love if you did, but if you can, that's cool too. All the other things support us. But it's worth going over there in the link below just to get a list of all the different shows we do and all the links to all the audio feeds for all the things we do. It's a handy, neat list of everything. So, but that's us. Thank you once again for watching and listening, guys. We always appreciate it. Keep watching TV. Have you got any vanilla?